Greetings. This is Arvette McLean of Speak, the Universe Listens.
We cherish that. We love that particular piece of it because it
teach people like, hey, it's okay, change.
New ways to view age-old challenges. Change your thoughts, change your life. Step into the bigness of you.
Greetings and welcome to Speak, the Universe Listens. And today's topic is Know Your Worth. And I have Stephen joining me today.
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I love this topic. This is a place where I love to start. So if I was talking to anyone about how to develop their spirituality,
right,
this would be the place that I would start, is knowing your worth. And so one of the things that we decided that we really want to do this season is talk about redefining common thinking. And so with that, one of the major access points to that is recognizing that we are connected to the source of all that exists.
Right.
And so we are able to tap into that power at will. We just have to know how to do it. Now, in my life, so many people comment and they tell me things like, oh, you're so smart and you're so talented, or they'll be like, I know you're always busy. And I'm just like, I'm not always busy. I'm probably one of the least busiest people that you would meet. I'm not talented at all. I'm not talented. I'm a little bit smart, but I'm not as smart as people think that I am. And so really what it is that I have learned and am continuing to learn how to tap into that flow, tap into the connection of all that is. And with that, I have the backing of God, or the universe, of everything. And so I don't have to be smart. I don't have to be talented, because I have the backing of the universe behind me.
Right.
So that brings us directly to the topic of knowing your worth and knowing who you really are.
I think knowing your worth is such a value, that we don't really take a look at. Sometimes we get ourselves into situations and we have a vision for ourselves that we want to do something and we really want to do it, but the problem is we'll tell ourselves that I don't know how to do that, or I can't do that. And what we really should think about is we should reverse that, and instead of saying I can't do that, well, why is it that you can't do that? And let's think about that for a second. Why is it that you can't do what you say that you can't do? And for me, for instance, I would say I had thought about building a house. Hey, something I'd never done before. Still to this day I have never done it. But when I was in school and I was in training, they showed us how to step by step do it. And now that I'm in the construction field, I pretty much it's a lot of things that I don't know about doing, but I do not limit myself. And so I know that I got it. I can do it, So I check in with myself and say, you know what? Don't tell yourself what you can't do. Just know that you got it, and then just let it flow.
Yeah, and I think that when we talk about knowing your worth, so many people get that confused with what am I capable of doing. People get your worth confused with what is my personality, what can I do, what can I accomplish, what do I bring to the table, that type of thing. And so whenever we're talking about I, you have already limited your possibilities and your ability to expand in the world. And so when we're really talking about know your worth, you're bigger than who you show up to be. You're bigger than who you pretend to be on a daily basis. And so if I'm just focused on this part of me, this physical part of me, I probably can't accomplish half of the things.
Yeah.
You know, but if I tap into this energy field that's all knowing, all present, all powerful, if I tap into that flow, then that provides me with the backing to do whatever I want to do. And the thing is, my worth is not measurable. You can't measure it. It's unmeasurable. So when you're trying to figure out, oh, what do I bring to the table, and you're using that to measure your worth,
Right.
then you've already missed the boat.
That's very true. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. I just think that we just really, in general, knowing your worth, for myself and on my journey through spirituality, I had to really understand my worth. You know, what is it that makes, you know, me worthy? You know, everything that I have is been backed up, you know, from the universe. And so I look at it as to where there's nothing that's limiting me from getting everything that it is that I want. You know, and I think in the world that we live in, society has placed so much limitation on the things that we think that we can't do, but in actuality we can do. And it's a lot more deeper than, like you said, the physical part of it. It's just more looking inside yourself, you know, what you tell yourself, how do you talk to yourself, you know, do you honestly feel like, hey, you know, I'm worthy of having everything, all of this abundance that I want in my life.
Right.
Instead of looking at it like, well, I want this, but, you know, and so you take that but out and just know that, yeah, I'm worthy of having this and feeling and just actually walking, you know.
Yeah. And so, like, I know a lot of times when people talk about trying to, I guess, increase how they feel about themselves, they'll start off with saying things like, well, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I'm good at this, or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, because I believe, first of all, I believe that we really have to separate our personality from who we really are. So I show up as a personality when I take this physical form, but who I really am is I'm connected to the source of all that exists. And so it's cool, it's great, wonderful to love your personality, to be an appreciation of your personality. Like, that's being human. That's one of the beautiful things about being human, that we all can take on different personalities, different traits. There'll be things that we're really great at, things that we love to do, and then things, you know, we may not care so much for or whatever. But to realize that's our personality, and we can love on that and be appreciative and be happy that, oh, you know, I'm able to, you know, do carpentry, or, oh, I'm able to write, or, oh, I'm able to sing. You can admire those things about yourself and other people, but really that's not where you get your worth from. The worth is not what can you do and what do I bring to the table. Your worth is already guaranteed. It's already, you know, worthy. You can't, right, you came here worthy.
So you already have it within you. You just have to know that you have it, you know, and don't even question yourself on it. It's just, you know, even with myself, it took me a while to understand my worth, you know, understand that I'm more than the physical and more than my character, you know. Deep down inside, it's something within me that I had to question, and I had to say, you know what, man, stop beating yourself up, and, like, you know, stop having the mindset of thinking that you're not capable, or, you know, you can't. And that's the biggest thing, is the can't, you know, because we just because we haven't experienced something and we haven't done something in our life, we automatically say that, you know, I can't do that, you know, let's say it's somebody out here that wants to write a book. They never wrote a book a day in their life, you know, but they're nervous about it. You know, they feel as though nobody doesn't want to hear about my story. You know, nobody doesn't want, you know, and they just sit back and they just overthink so much. And instead of just doing it, they fall back from it because it's so much in their mind, overthinking and thinking that worrying about what other people may think about it, you know, instead of just saying, you know what, I don't care about it, you know, what nobody else says. It's not about, you know, what somebody else says. Nobody can prove, you know, validate your worthiness or what it is that you're doing. Just go for it. And it took me a while to really step into that zone. And when I did, it was like, you know, I don't need no validation from nobody. I'm just gonna do it. And when I stepped into it, it felt really good. Is it a process? It is. It's a process. But the biggest thing, I think, that we just really have to get over the hump of saying I can't, you know, just because we haven't done it before. Get rid of that limitation.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing too, as far as the limits. Like the reason why we feel like we can't, the reason why we feel limited and small is because we are just only identifying with this physical part. And if that's the only thing that I'm coming in with is this physical part, then yes, I am limited. But because we are connected to the source of all that exists, there are no limits. Right. There's nothing that God or the universe or spirit cannot do. And so the more you realize, oh, I'm a part of this flow, the more you can start reminding yourself of that, the better. The easier your life will be, the less busy you'll be, the more talented you'll seem to people who are watching you, and the smarter you'll seem as well. But yeah, for me, that's what I learned and am learning how to do, is just to tap into that flow on a regular basis. And that starts with one thing is self-love. And when you realize that God is in you.
Right.
God is in you. So how can you not love that? And so we tend to put our self-love on, I really don't know. Like, we think that because bad things happen to us, that maybe we're not worthy, we're not good people, maybe we've done some things we're not proud of, and then we start feeling bad about ourselves. But that, we can just wipe all that away. It's like we are connected to the source. God is in me, so if God is in me, how can I not love me?
Exactly. Like you are a reflection of God. So it's nothing about you that you should look at yourself and say, you know, I'm not worthy. Because it's basically you just putting down God. If you put down yourself, you're putting down God, the universe. You know, I mean, so there's no reason to sit back and look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, understanding your power, knowing where you come from. So I think when we just cross that hump, oh my God, it's just like a weight off your shoulders when you know your worth.
Yeah, so I would say self-love would be key, and also starting to get quiet. Take the time to be quiet, learning how to stop the chatter in your mind, which can be hard. Like I remember, I used to work around the clock, and I was just like go all the time, like 24/7. And one time I took a vacation. I went away to Barbados, and I can't remember, we went for 10 days or 14 days, however long. It was too long. Like it was too, like day one was hard for me. I'm just like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, and like 24 hours seemed like 2 or 3 days, right? And I just was not able to quiet the chatter in my mind and the need to this. And so it took some time to really, as they say, decompress, relax myself and things like that. But if you start doing a practice of, meditation, maybe just going out walking in nature, or just any time where you just are quiet and you can hear that chatter in your head,
Yeah.
and just try not to even focus on it. So you can just pick something else to focus on, like
Get into the habit of
like whether you're focusing on your breathing, which I've never been able to do that.
I tried that, to be honest with you. It helped a little bit. Sometimes as to where I get a little anxious, and I feel overwhelmed, I'll stop and I'll catch my breathing. And I notice when I catch my breathing, I start breathing correctly, exhale, inhale, exhale, and I get into that pattern. My body starts to relax a little bit. Then I'm like, okay, I'm cool.
Yeah. Sometimes you can listen to a sound. So it could be like the sound of your refrigerator.
Right.
Or, your heat or something like that. But just basically you're taking your mind off of everything that's going on in your life. And you just allowing your mind to rest for a moment. And sometimes you can only let it rest for 10 seconds. And so then maybe tomorrow you can do it for a minute or whatever. But you just want to increase the amount of time that your mind can rest.
I like that.
So that helps you to start tapping into, start to hear the voice or get the impulses from the universe.
Yeah. So sometimes what I do, I wake up in the morning time, and before I actually get my day started, I just have quiet time, and I just make sure that I have that peace of mind for myself. I meditate 5 minutes or so, and just get in tune with myself. So that way, when I'm going throughout my day, I'm like, all right, today I know my day is gonna be a good day, So there's so many things that we can do to really, know our worth, to really start loving ourselves.
Yeah. So I was talking to my nephew, and this topic had came up, and we was talking about know your worth, and I said so many people think that means what do you bring to the table?
Yeah.
And he was like, yes, yes, that's what girls do. They be like, I bring this to the table. You don't know what I'm worth, or whatever. And and what he's saying is so true, because I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
I see it on social media. And people are like, know your worth, and a lot of times, again, people will say, what are you good at? What can you do? There's things you can do well. And that's true. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with knowing what you do well. But that is not with how you tie yourself into your worth.
Right. That's funny.
And I remember being in that stage that he was talking about, and especially, look, like they laugh at me when I say back in my day. But back in my day, it was when women's liberation was kind of just, I guess, at its peak, so to speak. And so it was a big deal for women to be like, I don't need no man, and and this is what I can do. I can do these things. I can bring home the bacon and fry it up in the pan, and I can make sure you don't forget that you a man. And so I definitely understand, and that can be a kind of like a jump start.
Right.
It's like if you're starting to realize, oh, I do have my own personal power. Like, you can start from there and then expand.
Yes, ma'am.
But the key is to get to the place where you realize it's not my personality. That's not what ties my worth into me. That's not what creates my worth.
Yeah, get away from the physical, and just really go inside of yourself.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys were able to get a little something out of it, a different take on knowing your worth. And again, we're redefining common thinking. So there are lots of things that we've always done it this way. Right. We always think things this way. And so if we want to do life differently, then we have to think differently.
And we have to do different things.
Yes, exactly, and do different things. And so this is like our, I guess, thing that we're trying to do is to help people understand what ways we think differently which is what causes our lives to blossom in such a beautiful way.
Right, right.
So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, this is Arvette.
And this is Steve.
Bye, guys.